And welcome back, everybody, to the Ball Guy, the Fat Boy podcast. I'm the Ball Guy with my buddy, the Fat Boy.
Roll Tide.
And we're coming back with not near as long a layoff this time. So, y'all are welcome.
Very welcome. Congratulations to you for getting to see us sooner. Um, Ball guy, if it's okay with you, I'd like to start off. If I'm not my normal jolly self like I usually am, I had a kind of a bad weekend. For the dog lovers out there, me and my wife had to put down one of our boys this weekend, and kind of a heavy heart this weekend. Put down my German Shepherd. Had him for 11 years, and he was a good dog, but he was kind of coming to the falling apart a little bit. So we had to make a hard bad decision. And for anybody out there that's done that, know that's tough on people. So if I ain't my normal bouncy self, you know why.
Man, we hate to hear that. That's always sad whenever, it's losing a family member.
It definitely is. So we'll dedicate this particular podcast to Bray Ryan.
There you go. There you go. So, well, what do you want to kick Bray's podcast off talking about?
Well, and well, let's start with something good since he was a good dog. We'll start with the Stars. Um, the Stars came into the barn last night here in Texas, and um, they the first quarter they come out a little flat. To be honest with you, quarter I said quarter. You can tell I don't watch enough hockey. First period they come out flat and everything. Well, in the second period, off of a kick out, steal, or a rebound, whatever you call it in hockey, where he kind of goes to the goal and comes out a little bit off the goal. Well, Steele caught one and got. They had in the first. Winnipeg had the 1-0 lead. Well, Steele tied it to 1-1. Well, so we rock around down to the game. Everything we go the rest of the second period, nothing. All of the third period, nothing. Right at the end of the third period, we had a breakaway, and their star player that had lost lost his father, their player that had lost his dad. He was playing the day after his dad died, which heavy hearts to him, prayers to him and his family. I won't remember his name, but he was playing with a heavy heart. He he had a breakaway. Well, we had a breakaway. Well, he tripped one of our guys going into the breakaway. So with 14 seconds to go in the third period, um, they got a penalty. Well, in hockey, if you get a penalty, it carries over to the next frame. It doesn't cancel just because you into the period, so to speak. So in my mind, I thought Dallas gonna come out of this. We're at home. Dallas gonna come out of this with fresh legs. Gonna come out of 65 man up. I said, am I? And I told myself, I said, I don't think it's gonna take very long, and it sure wasn't very long at all.
Oh, I think I may have lost you there, Fat Boy. You froze up. Hey, Fat Boy. Okay, I guess we're having some technical difficulties, and I lost you for a little bit. Are you back now?
I didn't go nowhere. So what am I? Where am I supposed to end up at there? Um,
You were talking about it didn't take them very long to win.
yeah, it didn't take them very long to win. Soon as within about a minute into overtime, we got a goal in. Not, I get you don't call it puck game, so a ball game. uh, and it was a real big win. And for our effort, we get to go play another Canadian team in Edmonton versus the Edmonton Oilers. I think they're the Oilers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So and then they got Connor McDavid on that team, and which I griped at you. I don't like his nickname, but I won't get into all that on here. But um, so
So what do you
we,
think the chances are in
we
the next series?
huh?
What do you think the chances are in the next series?
Well, I haven't seen anything. I'm basing this all off my opinion. We're getting we're getting Haskin back. We're getting healthier. We've not we not played much of these teams yet at 100% strength. So I have to give us a better than a puncher's chance to win in this next series because we're coming back. We're going to be more healthier in this series than we were the last one, and we won the last two. So that's how I feel. I think we're going to win this series. Now I can't tell you if it's going to go 7 games or 4 games. I have no way to know that. This is going to be good hard hockey, and I guarantee you our boys ain't going to give up. So we'll just go with that. That's all I know to go with.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the call in right now that the Stars win the Stanley Cup this year.
Stanley Cup. All right, I like that.
It's only 2 more series, man.
Yeah, that's right. West Finals, um, um, Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep. So
Yeah, I like it. I'll support it all the way. So that's kind of I would say over a full year ago I couldn't even on playoff hockey I couldn't have gave that much of a hockey report. So I'm pretty proud of myself.
I know, and our hockey intern is off on a cruise right now. So
He's on a boat. I wouldn't get on a boat. You remember how? Do you remember back in the day that there was a show called the A Team?
yeah, I sure
Tried
did.
to get him to fly.
Yeah, they'd always have to drug him and knock him out.
Yeah, trick him and drug him. No, you'd have to do the same thing to get me on a dadgum boat.
Really, you're scared of riding in a boat?
I'm scared of everything, but I'm so scared of being out in the open water. Nope, 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 not me, not me.
Are you
I'm a
scared of flying, or how do you do with flying?
huh?
How do you do with flying?
Well, I did all right with flying. The only problem with flying is, as my moniker well says, I'm the fat boy. So they make you buy extra seats when you're a fat boy. So I don't like doing that because you have to pay more money.
Yeah, but you
So
get a little more room. So I mean, I could see that.
you definitely get more room, but you still got to pay more money. So whatever the seat you pay for, I got to pay double. So
Right. All right. So what else you want to talk about? That's the Stars. We got a bold prediction. They're going all the way. So what else?
you go, you pick next.
Let's talk about the Cowboys. It should be a short conversation.
Well, not as short as usual. There is actually something to talk about, in my opinion.
Okay, go ahead.
We picked up a wide receiver. We
Okay.
actually we made a forward positive move. I'm not saying he's going to win the MVP or nothing, but I'm saying it's at least a move in the right direction. Don't you agree with that?
Oh, probably so. If we can keep him in check, if somebody can get with him and handle his attitude issues, yeah, we'll be fine.
Well, attitude issues in Pittsburgh. I said this to you already off there. Attitude issues in Pittsburgh kind of not quite as big as attitude issues in Cowboy land for the simple fact that we, for whatever reason, we have a better handle on those type of things. Typically, we handle big
That's
attitude.
because we're used to dealing with divas, is why.
Is that
So
what it
it's
is?
not for no reason. I mean, we have practice.
We're regardless what the reason is. We still, I mean, Dallas takes that better than most of the teams. I mean, at least I think in my mind they do anyway.
Yeah,
So
but anyway, George Pickens, they picked him up, probably to be the number 2 receiver.
yeah,
He's a lot like kind of plays a lot like Dez more than he does some of the other receivers we've had, where he's a go get 50% balls. He's physical. But I think it's perfect with CD. I think our offense is going to be greatly improved.
well, and I think that too. So we're on the same page on that. So I agree with all that. And at least, like I said, at least it's a positive direction move. I mean, I hate static, and I hate going backwards.
Well,
And
Jerry said he's had some stuff up his sleeve, some moves that they were wanting to make.
that, but I mean, that ain't the whole sleeve, but we'll see. Um, so you picked that one, I'll pick the next one. I don't know if any of y'all out there in podcast land watch golf the way I watch golf. But I can watch golf. I mean, I literally can watch golf 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, especially good golf. And let me speak on good golf. Scotty Scheffler, the world number one, is playing the greatest golf next to Tiger Woods I have ever seen. The only person that's even come close to the golf that Scotty Scheffler playing right now was Tiger Woods. And Tiger Woods is the GOAT, the greatest of all time in golf. That's my opinion. There are a few people that got Nicholson up there, a few people that got Arnie up there. I will not argue the fact. My guy, my era, my eyes saw Tiger Woods.
You didn't get to see those guys play as much.
Not as much. I've seen them on highlights and go backs, but nothing like watching live. But I saw Tiger live from the time he started his coming out of amateurs all the way to his last Masters win. And Scotty Scheffler is playing some Tiger-esque golf as we speak. He was on the showcase at North Carolina this week, going for the Watermaker Trophy, and he had a first couple days, but he found his swing on the third day. And once he found his swing, you better hang on, hold on, because that man can play some golf. He won it by 4 strokes. Your Watermaker Trophy winner for the PGA is Scotty Scheffler. And like I said, he's playing some excellent golf.
So how many majors has Scotty won?
Well, he's won 2 Masters. This is his first PGA. So you have to get the I don't think it's called the Grand Slam. I think it's called
the Grand Slam. It is.
It is the Grand Slam. To get the Grand Slam in golf, you have to win the Watermaker, the Masters, the U.S. Open, and they call it just the Open.
Yeah.
The Open. When I was growing up, the Open wasn't the Open. It was called the British Open. But they changed that to just the Open. I guess because they invented golf over there, they get to have whatever name they want.
Hey, it's easier to market at just the Open.
Just the Open. So you win those 4. That's the career Grand Slam in golf. There's only been 4. I think there's only been like 4 golfers to ever do it. Of course, that aforementioned Tiger Woods did it. I think he did it twice, or almost did it twice.
But I don't know as though anybody's had the Grand Slam in the same year.
I think Tiger did.
No, he didn't.
I thought he had it, though. I thought he got it
not in the same calendar year.
I thought he did, but okay, I won't argue with it.
Nobody's ever done it.
Nobody's
ever done it. I think Tiger and Ben Hogan, I think, got the closest, but no, nobody's ever done it.
Okay, but anyway, and of course, Rory just did it. Rory just finished off his leg. He needed the Masters to get his last leg of the career Grand Slam. So Rory just did it.
Yeah, but that also means that Scotty can't do it this year.
No, I mean we're already past. Scotty didn't win the Masters this year. Yeah. I mean, well, no, that don't make. He could still do it this year. Not calendar.
No, you gotta do it in the same season calendar.
I thought you just had to get all of them for them. Period. Whenever it didn't matter when you got them have the.
You give them one season to be the Grand Slam for that season.
Okay. So anyway, Scotty Scheffler absolutely destroying the ball and playing as good when his putter is on. I mean, and this of course this week it's a championship, so you got the live boys in there too. You had DeChambeau right up there at the top, which he fell off today. You had Rom up there at the top. He fell off today. I mean, but they were there. They were on the last page of the leaderboard, so they were right there. And, I mean, kudos to them. So, you got anything you want to mention about golf or anything? I don't know if you got to see them, but last time I talked to you, you were doing your
I didn't get to see it, but I mean, I knew the first couple of days all the big names were struggling, and it looks like Scotty figured it out and got his swing fixed. They were working on some stuff. I saw some highlights of that earlier, but that's about all I saw. So
You want to go next?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna let you talk about bull riding next.
Bull riding next. Well, believe it or not, as anticlimactic as it seems, and to look at me, I am a huge bull riding fan. And of course, I don't watch a lot of the BRCA rodeo stuff, a lot of the roping and things like that. That's for other people. I care for. I like the pro bull riding circuit. Well, at this weekend up in Cowtown and Fort Worth, up there, and then of course in Jerry World, they finished the Unleash the Beast World Championships up there. It was a 10-day event. I'm giving you this whole backstory because it's relevant to how and who won. Going into the 10-day event, um, the just give me 1 second. I just went blank on a name. I hate when I go blank on names.
He's losing his name. Come
Yeah,
on.
I know. It'll come to me in a second. Uh, the So there's one particular bull rider that came into the weekend out in front ahead of everybody. Wow. I'm
And you
so sorry.
remember his name to save your life. Where are you at?
It's right there. I'm struggling. Excuse me. I mean, you have to forgive my senior moments. Uh, Dalton Castle. Excuse me. Forgive me, Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle came into the World Finals ahead in points, but there at the World Finals itself, there are a ton of points to achieve because it's a 10-day ultimate Unleashed the Beast Series Championship. Are you with me on this, bald guy?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so going in, he's quite a few points ahead. Well, there are a bunch of cowboys from this position in second place all the way down. I'm gonna say for this because of this conversation because of who won. I'm gonna say all the way down to 31 place can still win this tournament. Can still win this championship, and that's exactly what happened. A two-time champion in 31 place by the name of Jose Vitor Leme, which you heard me, Jose Vitor Leme, which you heard me mention before. He did something that doesn't get done very often. How many? So it's 10 outs. It's 10 outs at the World Championship. You know what that means? When I say it's 10 outs, what does that mean?
That means he gets 10 rides.
10 bulls. And how they pick bulls, they do it randomly. One time it'll be like the judges will pick. One time it'll be random. Another time the Cowboys will pick. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it stays fresh, and they get the right riders on the right bulls at the right time. So going into the weekend, Jose Victor Leme was in 31st place. He was 30 where Dalton Castle was first. Leme was 31, but Leme rode every one of his bulls. He didn't get bucked off one bull, and so thus you're because by 60, I think it was 65 points at the end. By 65 points, Jose Victor Leme won his third world championship. And Dalton Castle got second in Unleashed the Beast world standings. So congratulations to Leme. He's a great champion. There's only been two other 3-time champions in PBR, and Jose Vitor Leme has made it the third one, and that's about the same. For you don't like bull riding, it's about the same thing as the Grand Slam or um, in golf or in tennis or anything like that. So in bull riding, it's a pretty big deal. So I was proud to see that. I like Lemmy. I wanted Castle to win it because he never won it, and he was leading by a golf. I didn't think anybody'd catch him except for the wrong guy got hot at the. It's like this guy Sheffer got hot today in North Carolina. Well, Lemmy got hot in Texas and just destroyed the field. And that's the end of the season. the next season will be team seasons coming up for PBR here in a couple months. I think they start the new team seasons, which there's about 8 teams, and they start that in November.
They started in November, so we got a while before bull riding comes back then.
Yeah. So yes, yeah, right. Maybe they don't start in November.
September. I think they start in September.
September. That's what it is. Thank you.
There you go. All right. So, oh, by the way, what was the top bull over there? Do you know?
The top bull, the one that won the bull championship was you big dork. You did that on purpose just to make me look like a dork again. It was.
I figured you knew. I figured.
Oh, I do know, but I'll think of it in a minute. I'll get back to you that on ball guy. Let me do a little research.
Okay, all right, you check on that.
Man hater, excuse me, man hater.
Man hater. Okay.
Man hater was the which that's not. There's no tongue in cheek on that. That just happens to be his name, but he happened. Man hater's unleashed the bull champion.
That's good. Did Lemmy get to ride him this week or?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't. I didn't see all the outs because not all. There's a lot of TV issues with with how you get to watch PBR, and some of it I have, and some of it I don't have.
So much overlap now with the sports and all the different shows going on different platforms that there's so much overlap, and it's tough to get to see everything now.
Yeah, it's really tough. You really have to be searching around to figure it all out and figure out schedules and timings and all that stuff. Not to say that I can't. It's just like there was a couple days of bull riding that they didn't have on. They had it on YouTube only, and I ain't doing that.
Yeah, who'd watch YouTube? Oh wait, everybody that's watching this podcast is on YouTube.
On YouTube, exactly. Well, that's all I got on bull riding. What else you got next? Oh,
you want to go Mavs or Rangers?
Well, neither one of them are real bad. Mavericks are kind of pleasantly. How do I say that? Well, maybe it ain't a surprise. Maybe it's a pleasantly well known deal to everybody. If you believe the conspiracy nuts out there, for sure. Which I don't think the bald guy subscribes in. But we'll see.
I subscribe to a lot of conspiracies. I don't subscribe to this one.
Okay. Well, go ahead. You start it off, and I'll jump in where I.
So the Mavericks entered the NBA lottery with a 1.8% chance to get the number 1 pick, and they pulled it off. And that's what the ball guys or the Fat Boys talking about is they managed to have the number 1 pick handed to them after trading Luka Doncic. So everybody's saying that the NBA is rigged, and this was the plan the whole time. Do you prescribe to that?
What?
That they gave it to the Mavericks.
Yes. I believe there was an inside deal that happened. I can't prove it. I have no physical evidence. I can't touch it. But in my mind's eye, there's too much smoke not to be fire on that deal. That's just where I'm at. You don't have to agree with me. You can agree with the bald guy. On my deal is that Nico Harrison, everybody hates old Nico because he ran the Great White Hype out of Dallas because he wouldn't play defense. He wasn't Nico's type of guy. He ran Luka out of town. And we picked up Anthony Davis, picked up that other good boy out of that trade, and now people were putting for sale signs in Nico's yard. They wanted him to be fired. And that owner wasn't firing him. And then all of a sudden the narrative changed because here you go, NBA, here you go, because we needed somebody to get LeBron, which it didn't really work out by the way the NBA hoped it would, because they thought Luka would help LeBron get a little further than he did, but it was still kind of flashy for a minute. He got him past the play in anyway.
They backed out of the deal in the center. I think that would have made that team a lot better. They had no size inside.
Yeah, they need to be a little bigger. So thus saying all that, it just looks fishy. Whether it is fishy or not, I don't know, but it looks fishy.
Okay, well, so they get the number one pick. Cooper Flag out of Duke is the uh, pre selected number one overall pick.
Yeah,
He's the can't miss prospect coming out.
he
So
is. He is the blue chip for blue chippers.
now the question is, how good are they next year with Cooper Flag?
Well, do we base it off of what they tell me that this boy is on paper, or do we base it off the fact that we say that he stays 100% healthy? Do we base it off the
You're
fact?
a big fan of this, so I'd say base it off of some of the March Madness games you watch Cooper Flag play. You know,
Cooper,
you're always a big fan of watch the game.
Cooper Flag ain't the only person on the team. Every time I say something about that, you tell me Anthony Davis can't stay healthy for a full year. You tell me that Klay Thompson's hurt too much. You tell me Kyrie ain't coming back 8 or 9 months like I said he was. You tell me all the negative Nelly stuff that it's hard for a fat boy to make a prediction on. If Cooper Flag, if I had 5 Cooper Flags, I'll put them somewhere in the Western Conference Finals. I don't got 5 Cooper Flags. I've got I got
You've got a load managed AD that'll probably play somewhere between 30 and 45 games next year. He's
yeah,
trying to keep him healthy.
yeah. See, this
You
is what I'm
got
talking.
Kyrie that'll be coming back from a knee operation sometime towards the end of next year.
See,
So
so with all that said, they may make the playoffs.
we may be the best team to not make the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll probably be playing our 10. I mean, playing our in the 10th seed to do a playing game again, but not because of Cooper Flag though.
No,
Because
not because of Cooper Flag. I wish we could see what Flag did with everybody there. The problem is we're pretty injury prone on a lot of our key individuals.
so therefore, I don't know. But now, but there was a little scuttlebutt right at the beginning of all this, especially on draft night, because on the same, it's just ironic. On the same night of draft night, there was one person that came loose from his team a little bit that became a talking point for Dallas. Heavy, heavy, heavy. What in the world would happen if the Dallas Mavericks and your friend Nico Harrison put Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis and some myriad of pick together to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Do you trade your number one pick, future of your franchise, and your
Dubai or
you just
Nico?
traded the player you just traded for the future of your franchise and your top player? You put both of those together to go get Giannis?
Exactly. Do you or don't you?
I don't know. I think if you had him right now, I don't know as though I'd trade Luca for Giannis, but I think for sure Milwaukee would have done that deal.
There you go. So this is there's a lot of nuance and food for thought and 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 hoping people have outliers, season outliers on health and people come back sooner than they're supposed to. Because here's what it boils down to, bald guy. We just like going into any season, you root for the best possible outcome. Now let me ask you this question: How silent or loudly does the Nico Harrison haters get after receiving the back end payoff of Cooper Flag for the Luka Doncic debacle?
Has not changed their opinion one bit. He had zero to do with that.
If you believe the conspiracy nuts, he had plenty to do with it. But that's only if you subscribe to the conspiracy part of it.
What if he trades the number one pick?
For Giannis, I'm okay with. For anything else, no. I'm a big Giannis. I want Giannis Antetokounmpo on my team. I just do. I think any variation with the players that we have currently, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is better than what we had with Luka.
Ooh, hold on. So pre-trade, so you wouldn't have AD or Christie, and you're saying that if you'd had Giannis, you would have rather had 30 or 31-year-old Giannis than 25-year-old Luka.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
It's
I don't know as though I would have done that deal.
okay.
I really don't think I would have. I mean, that's like I said, that's 5 years of basketball, the prime basketball right there that you'd be
Yeah, but
losing.
here's the deal. And the one thing I do that everybody hates to hear him say that I do agree about that Giannis plays out of his mind on. And this is the one thing I agree with Nico Harrison that everybody hates him. They hate to hear him say these days. You know what that is, don't you?
What? What is it?
Defense championships.
Okay.
And the difference between the defense that Luka Doncic plays and the difference between Giannis Antetokounmpo play are so worldly different that you may downgrade a little bit on the scoring a little bit, but you upgrade so much on the defensive end that to me honest Antetokounmpo is a better even, and that's what they're saying about Cooper Flag. Cooper Flag is Luka Doncic 2.0. The reason he's 2.0 because he plays both sides of the ball 100% of the time.
No. Cooper Flag is not a point guard, so don't even be comparing those.
But he plays defense on every possession.
Okay, he plays defense. I get that. He did in college. He did in high school. We'll see what he does in NBA.
That's the main reason. If you believe what Nico says, which I know you don't, that's the main reason why Doncic is in LA because he won't play defense.
His defense is to tire out the opposing team's guards.
Well, I'm just saying.
I hear you, and I heard him, and I didn't believe it when he said it. I don't believe it when you say it.
I understand that. That's why I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just like that old show you say. So I'm just giving you the facts, ma'am. I'm just giving you the facts.
Well, actually, they were asking for the facts, not giving them to them.
You know what I mean. So yes, that's my ultimate point. Regardless whether we get Flag or Antetokounmpo in here, and we could get some kind of health on the rest of our guys, and we could stay pretty much sound as a basketball team, and play the kind of defense that, and me and you both know, Kid is as quiet as a church mouse, but Kid wants a defense. Kid was a great defensive player, and Kid wants a defensive team.
Yeah, well, Kyrie doesn't fit that either.
Not really, but he's gotten better spots.
Oh yeah,
I think from watching the damn game, I think he's gotten better spots.
watching the damn games. Luka's bigger to go around. Luka's bigger to shoot over. And if they're just going to be, what was that Patrick Beverly called Chris Paul? A cone? If there's just going to be a cone sitting out there for everyone to go around anyway, wouldn't you rather have the bigger, younger one?
As opposed to Giannis that's going to go get the ball and
No, this is opposed to Kyrie.
Oh, see, I understand. You got. I mean, Doncic's thing is gone. I mean, I'm trying to focus on the future a little more than you are.
Okay. So let me ask you if you make this trade. You get to keep Cooper Flag in the #1 pick. You have to trade another pick, but you trade Kyrie and AD for Giannis. Do you do it?
That's quick in a big old hurry.
Okay.
But they're never going to make that trade.
Who's not?
Huh?
Who doesn't?
Milwaukee.
You don't think they would make that trade to be able to stay in kind of a win now window?
Maybe they would. It just don't. It don't seem feasible to me. But I would love for Giannis to be here. And Kate, I mean, and not to say anything bad about Anthony Davis, but you got and me and you well both know in the NBA, especially on trades, you have to give to get. You can't just give up some scrub.
I would love to see Cooper Flag, Giannis, and AD all play together. It's just there's no way salaries are going to allow that to happen.
Your salary cap and restrictions are going to prevent that.
And Kyrie's hurt right now, but I mean, I think guard play is where we're going to have to add something.
Yeah, I agree with all that. My whole point is Luka's gone. I'm still trying to figure out if Nico's going to keep a job going into this next season. Because I'm one of the few people. I'm gonna make some bad. Maybe I can make some news with this. Maybe I can get some people to watch our podcast with this. I'm one of the people out here that still want Nico to be our general manager. I didn't have the cow that everybody else had because I watched the damn games and I saw the deficiencies that Luka had, even though his upside and his age and his perennial all-star. I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong. I like Luka, but he was such a deficit on the defensive end of the floor that I understood what the direction Nico was trying to go. Yeah, I'll agree with you on your point. They didn't get near enough for him. You're 100% right about that. Yeah, I'll agree with another point. The trade was a bad trade. He did it. He did it too fast. He saw Anthony Davis. He saw Christie. He got most of what he wanted, and he went too fast, too quick. And he should have thought about it a little more.
I think we're going to sit back and watch and see what Milwaukee gets for Giannis, and that same package you could have got for Luka.
Yes, and I understand that, and that'll bum me out too. But I just want to make sure that I'm on here saying that I'm not going to buy him a Christmas gift or nothing, but I'm not putting for sale signs in his yards like everybody else is.
No, I want him to have to stay there and live with it. I don't want him to leave either.
Well,
I want him to sit up there and have to give a press conference every time Kyrie, AD, or whoever else goes down and gets hurt. They play such great defense that they never even get to make it to the game.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of where I ended up on the deal. And it'll even get louder and more fun to speculate about it because we get to the draft.
Yeah. I just wonder if they're going to trade Flag in that pick.
When is the draft? I think that's in June, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think the draft's in June. Yeah, because Philadelphia's got 97 free agents out there, including all the way down to their ball boys. So there's so many players out there available. I don't know where Kubo's going to actually end up yet. I just like it so much. I just wish it was here.
Right. I would have a tough time picking between AD and what's the center from Philadelphia?
Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
He comes off a little bit too lazy for me. I don't mean he's not as injury prone or his injury.
He's not quite as injury prone as AD, but he's there too.
I'd rather have AD, but that's just my personal opinion.
Well, we got him, so it doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, what you got to get is outstanding guard play to be able to save Kyrie.
Yeah. Or just, heavens to Betsy, how about we move on from Kyrie?
Ooh. I mean, I don't think you can do that, but okay.
Why can't you?
Well, I mean, salary-wise.
Where's he at on his contract? Do we even know that?
I think he's got a year left and then a player's option for the following year.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know that to be true or not. But I've already told you. I'm ready for the next guy that we took in the second round to make you step up. So
I'm okay with Kyrie when Kyrie's healthy. Kyrie was able to stay healthy because Luka took the volume of the load on offense. So you've got to have that in order to be able to keep Kyrie healthy.
Banging my head against this wall, but Luka's gone.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. How do you replace that guard production to be able to protect your other guards?
You have the next guy his next man up mentality, and
You keep saying that you don't have the next guy. You got to
I,
go get the next guy.
I have him. I have him. You don't.
Well,
Don't.
they have him and they don't use him. So what do you want them to do?
That's what they're waiting on, and I think that's what they're headed.
That is not what they're waiting on.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, but I mean not very often. So
They had him. They didn't use him.
they didn't need him. Now they're going to need him.
He wasn't the starting point guard when Kyrie went down.
Well, now that Kyrie's down, and you got him back there. Not even this next season. Who they're going to have to use somebody because Luka's gone to LA and Kyrie's on the bench. Got to use somebody.
They better go sign somebody this offseason.
Guy they on the bench already. They need to sign somebody to back him up.
He's not our starting point guard.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay.
And until I'm proven wrong, I ain't admitting being wrong.
Okay. Well, you hang tight on that. So,
Okay.
all right. So let's talk about a little Rangers baseball.
Okay, Rangers have.
This is one of the first years that we can actually say this in the history of how long I've been watching them. But our pitching is outstanding and our offense needs to get in gear.
Well, no, not necessarily. If the pitcher's going to stay like this, and our hitting can get just a little bit of smidge, man, I mean, I'm not trying to invent the wheel here. Just be a little better than they have been. I think we got enough, but because we've never had this much good pitching.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. They're on board, but I mean, the offense has got to help them out.
Yeah, I agree with that some, but I'm gonna define how. I mean, here lately, 1-0's been enough, or 2-1. I mean, if you got a pitcher staff that can hold it, 2-1's good enough.
Yeah, no. I want 5 or 6 runs a game.
I understand that's what you want, but that's not something. A lot of the time, especially in a 162 game series, that's not the reality of baseball.
It has been around here.
It has been, but maybe the ebbs and the flows of this team have changed a little bit to the point where we may get a 2 or 3 run lead and have the pitcher hold it down all the way to the bullpen and all the way to the closing. And if that's the case, I can live with a 3-2 win every night, as long as we're on the winning side of that combination.
Yeah, but you can't put yourself in that many 1-run games and expect to win.
Why do you if you can't? Why do you build a good pitcher staff, a good bullpen, good setup guys, good closer? If that's not the goal, now don't get me wrong. There's been a ton of teams. That thought they had it that way, and then it falls off. But right now, if it were to keep going like this, I'd be okay with doing it that way.
No, you've got to have offense in the playoffs.
Yeah, I want offense in the playoffs too. Well, I'm just trying to tell you, there is another model out there.
I'm okay with our bats getting hot late. I don't have a problem with that, but I can tell you that we need more offense. And they better go probably get some around the trade deadline.
And I don't know. You mean like bring somebody up? You mean like trade for somebody? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to bring in somebody to add some pop. You're going to have to make a move. Which I'm more uncomfortable doing than I was signing a relief pitcher or something like that at the deadline, the way we have in years past.
Yeah. So it really just depends on what the brain trust, and I actually can say that about the Rangers front office and everything. The brain trust at the Rangers decided at Bochy decided what they really ultimately need, and about the trade deadline, how much further along this battery of hitters we have has come out of it, because a lot of them are starting to come out of it. I mean, El Bombi is starting to come out of it. Berger is starting to come out of it.
Well, didn't we change our hitting coach?
Yes, we changed. I don't remember his name. We fired the other guy and we hired this new guy, but I'm not gonna remember names on that deal.
Okay, well, I mean, maybe he'll get them to turn the corner and they'll also hit a stride. Like I said, as long as they're hot going into the playoffs.
maybe he's already getting them during the corner. Maybe that's what the improvement's been about. And Boch, of course, Butchie has been taking them with the lineup, moving people around and down, and all those types of things as well. And I think that's helping as well.
Yeah, and didn't Corey Seager hurt again?
Yes, actually, he was hurt, and then they brought him. They were bringing him back, and he tweaked it again.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
And so then he went back instead of actually getting back. He went back on the DL again for another 10-day stint because of that hamstring.
Well, I mean, I'd rather him come back healthy, even if it takes long.
Let me ask you a question though: is there no kind of surgery or nothing you could do to make those hamstrings any better? Because I have no idea.
No, there's not.
There's nothing there that can be done for that. It's just
your knee stuff and all that's tendons coming loose. Your hamstring, when you tear the muscle, those fibers have to go back together.
Okay. Well, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not pretending to be one on TV. All I wanted to know was that because it just seems like to me you get a lot of hamstring injuries in sports. I mean, you'd figure like there'd be some kind of procedure that could fix that, but if there's not, there's not.
Not that I'm aware of. There may be something that they're experimenting with overseas or something, but
yeah, like cell regeneration or something. I don't know. All I know is I hate losing people because of hamstrings.
Most of the time, hamstrings are from not stretching well and getting cold, things like that, to where it tightens up and then you pull on it.
Okay, well, I think we don't have anything college to talk about, so I think that pretty much does this. You got anything else you want to? Real quick, I thought of one thing. They had I had mentioned that they were that Pat McAfee was going to do the big fight again at Backlash at a PLE event for the WWE. Well, he did that. He lost, but for a guy that fights once or twice a year or less than that, and for a guy who was fighting that's a pretty decent fighter, he held his own for a little bit, but then ultimately he got put the sleeper on him, and got knocked out. So he made a valiant effort, but it was all for naught.
Okay, well, good.
And of course, John Cena, he came out against Randy Orton and won that. So Cena's still the bad guy, and McAfee saved face more or less. But I had made mention about it going into that. But it was entertaining. So that's what WD is. It's mostly is World Wrestling Entertainment. So that's all I got on that.
Okay.
And that's what I have.
Well, with the wrestling wrap up, I think that'll do it for this episode. Guys, like, subscribe, and
Just plain old watch.
yeah, just watch, and we hope the best for y'all, you and your family, Harris, as y'all deal with all this week after the loss of your dog.
Appreciate that.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Roll Tide.